Prison planet Earth was my idea, and you were stupid enough to come here. That's all right, so was I. So if you feel like you are trapped in a prison planet, that is essentially accurate. But if you understand the complete details of how this Earth was created and why the experience of being trapped on a prison planet is actually the most powerful thing any conscious being can experience, when you internalize this and understand this, it will change everything and it will give you a way out. And that's the good news. There is an exit appearing on this earth right now as we speak. The Earth Matrix is designed to make you feel emotionally, mentally, and spiritually isolated from everything else. You go through your life, right? If another person is in front of you, they don't know what you're thinking unless you tell them. They probably won't know what you're feeling unless you tell them. They might be able to pick up some clues, but unless you tell them your feelings, they're not going to know all of it. And they're not going to know your plans unless you tell them. This is this experience of being isolated within yourself. People say this all the time, like on dating apps, people will say, I'm just looking for somebody who sees me for who I truly am. And I always respond, that's never going to happen. Because we are isolated, we're trapped in these human meat sacks. So we feel unloved, unseen, unappreciated. And it is accurate. Other humans can't see or feel us at all. And we feel isolated from the rest of the universe. In fact, if we're alone in a room, we don't know what's going on outside of the room. We're isolated. This is the nature of being in the third dimension. So this experience, however, is an illusion. The truth is, you are never alone. Eons before we created Earth, I was part of a council of beings who were experimenting with different planet concepts. Now, before you start thinking I've completely lost my mind, don't worry, I went through that for 3 years. I also found out that it's very possible that you might have been on that council as well. You just don't remember. After much fierce debate, I convinced the rest of the council that Earth had to be very difficult so that souls would grow. We talked for millennia about this, and we wanted to create a learning space for the soul that would increase the power of each soul exponentially. Now, we lived in these higher dimensional realms, and these are very blissful. And so the soul is aware that it is a God. The soul is aware that it can create anything, do anything. It's constantly in this state of bliss. It's wonderful, but you can't grow because everything is right at your fingertips. So we had to create an environment for the soul where the soul would be forced to tap into itself and learn how to create and accomplish under very difficult circumstances. And that's just like going to the gym. When you go and you push weights that are heavier than you can handle, your muscles respond by growing and getting stronger. The same is true for your soul. The Earth Matrix was created in low frequency 3 dimensions. This essentially consigns the soul within the human body. So this is just physics. And people talk about, in the spiritual community, people talk about higher dimensions. The truth is they have no idea what they're talking about. Higher dimensions doesn't just mean you're in a happier place in your mind. You'll see videos that say 5 tips that prove to you that you're already in 5D. Well, that would be impossible. Third dimension is a physical, spatial fact. We can go up and down, we can go forward and backward, we can go left and right. That's it. Within that third dimensional reality, the soul is going to be confined within a human body. Once you go beyond the third dimension, where you have another direction, which we can't imagine because we're in 3 dimensions. Just like people in 2 dimensions, if you tell them about up or down, they go, what is up? What is down? And you explain it to them and they go, that's what? It doesn't exist. No matter how hard they try and conceptualize it, they won't be able to. You can't conceptualize that 4th direction, or God's forbid, that 5th direction or that 6th direction. The other thing is that each time you go up in a dimension, the energy increases exponentially. And I mean the actual electromagnetic energy, the force. This also means the emotions expand exponentially. But on top of that, you have access to everybody else. That extra direction gives you access to other people's souls. So if you've got 4 5th dimensional people in the same space, they will instantly feel each other. Not only that, but you have direct access to the quantum field, which means that somebody's a trillion light years away, or even in 100 years in the past or 1,000 years in the future, all you have to do is think of them and you have instant access to them. I know this because after working with higher dimensional beings, the things that they've done to me, I have instant access to them. It's something I've never experienced before. But if you haven't had that, you're still in this feeling of isolation, which is the physical reality of being in the 3rd dimension. We created the 3rd dimensional Earth so that people would have to experience being alone with their own soul. This gives humans the illusion that they are isolated. This is necessary for the soul to experience itself. Next, we decided that human souls had to forget their higher dimensional pre-human past. Because if you remembered who you were, you would go, okay, how did I do that before? And you would be able to tap into that, and you would create unimaginable new doorways, and it's like if you have the cheat code to the video game. It's no fun. You don't learn anything. The video game is fun when you don't know how to get through the level, and you have to practice and learn, and then it's fun. And then you get the dopamine rush. Otherwise, it's just boring. So if humans remembered their godlike powers, they would never learn anything. Finally, we decided that only the most powerful deities would be allowed to incarnate on Earth. If you're here on Earth, you don't know it, but you are, not only are you a god, you are among the most powerful gods that have ever existed. I know that sounds, again, it's the 3D Earth experiment. It sounds completely backwards, but it's the truth. Remember that I told you, because when you leave this dimension, however that is, whether that's you shift up into a higher frequency or if you end up leaving this body, remember I told you this, because one of the first things that you are going to learn is that, oh yeah, that's right, I'm an immense God. And you will see that all of these beings that we look to as angels and higher teachers, they're going to be bowing to us. I know it sounds horrifically narcissistic, but it's the truth. I'm sorry if you don't like it. I had a hard time accepting it. I still am challenged with it, but it's the truth. The extreme harshness of isolation in the 3rd dimension would crush any soul that wasn't extremely powerful. That means that there are trillions, gazillions of very beautiful, wonderful light beings and angels who, if they were given the opportunity to come to earth, they would say, you know what, I don't have the chutzpah for that. I can't do it. Even other religions say that. Even, I'm not into the Bible, but I believe there's a scripture in the Bible that says that the angels wish they could come here. And the reason is because they know that the potential for growth and power is off the charts. So every single light being out there wants to come to earth. The only question is they have to get honest, can they handle it? You know that some children don't make it through pregnancy. Those souls go, you know what, as they're starting to trying to squish themselves into a little human baby body, they go, that's it, I can't do this, this is too harsh, and they're out of here. There's a lot of people have had past life memories where they remember trying to come in as a baby and they go, and they cancel. They end up coming back, but first time experiencing this is too much for many. Some infants will be born and die within days. Part of the reason for that is that the soul just goes, I'm not doing this, I give up. So that means that you are one of the most powerful gods in the multiverse. No matter how unsuccessful you may feel, everything you do here is extremely important to the rest of conscious life. So here's the thing that isolation and the third dimension creates in us is we don't realize that every challenge that we are experiencing, even if just simple stuff, you quit smoking, something like that. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. Well, you know, I used to smoke when I was a teenager. I know how challenging it is to quit that addiction. So that may be nothing big down here. But out there, when you do something like that, you change your diet, you quit smoking, you do something even larger than that, you really dig deep within yourself and do something authentically for yourself, the rest of the light beings and the deities themselves, they are empowered. Every action you take here has an effect out there. So even if you think no one sees your sacrifice, every other soul in higher dimensions is greatly empowered. When you overcome basic human challenges, your soul grows exponentially. The Earth Matrix is designed to respond to you in two basic ways. If you choose to follow your soul at any cost, the Matrix rewards you with synchronicities, resources, and health. All right, so this is probably the most important thing to understand about this third dimensional prison planet. It is one of two things. It's either a challenging, exciting, rewarding game, or it is a horrifically horrible prison planet. Those are your two options. Now, whether or not you experience a horrific prison planet or whether you experience an exciting, enjoyable video game, it all depends on what you choose. Either you choose your soul or you choose safety. Negative karma is not sin. It is simply the matrix responding to the choices based in fear. Based in fear means wanting to be loved by others, wanting to be accepted, wanting safety. You think that money gives you something. Listen, I've been on this planet for almost 61 years. I can tell you that there are no shortage of very wealthy people who have no time. They can't sleep. They are miserable. They are alone. They are unhealthy. Yeah, they've got a yacht and they've got cars, got houses, but they are as poor as anybody can possibly be. There are people on this planet who have fame. Look at what's happening with all of the celebrities. I just think of Michael Jackson. I'm old enough to remember Michael Jackson and how the most famous, successful celebrity in history, from my perspective. And he died addicted to the most addictive, horrible drug there is, alone and lonely. So none of those things that you do thinking that you're going to get safety from something outside of you, it won't work. And every time you act on that, you then increase the load. The isolation gets, and the pressure gets stronger and stronger. This is what karma is. Karma is simply the response to your actions. However, if you act fearlessly from your soul, with the only desire of your life being, I want to experience the truth of my soul, you operate believing that you live in a spiritual universe that loves you and provides for you if you choose to love and provide for yourself. It won't work both ways. If you're going after getting love and approval, safety from something outside of you, don't worry, we're all trained to do it. We all do it. But if you do that, the matrix is designed to cut off resources, to block you at every turn. And if you keep going, it's just like banging your head against a brick wall. It never gets easier, it only gets worse. If you choose to follow the path of worldly acceptance instead of your soul, the matrix creates much harder life challenges. The Earth experiment has achieved its goal. This Earth frequency is being erased. That's the good news. So we've been doing this human Earth thing for however long we've been here, and the body of knowledge that has been amassed has reached its goal. So every life, every person that comes here with an experiment. And each experiment gives specific results. And these results have been tallied by us. When we leave this earth, we go back and we look over what we've learned and what we've learned as the soul. We share it with other people. The other souls look around at it and they learn from it. And there's nothing more for us to learn. Each life that comes here, each person that incarnates and has a life is an experiment. I just mentioned Michael Jackson. So that soul was, okay, what happens if you get all the fame, all the money, all the talent, all the glory? What's the soul going to feel when that happens? What's it going to feel like when, name it. You're born in horrible circumstances, the opposite. You're born with no legs and you're blind in one eye and, what happens to the soul under those conditions? Oh, here's what happens. So you volunteer for your experiment. As well as each life you have, you start creating positive or negative karma, which is, again, you heap upon yourself either more challenges or more synchronicities and more opportunities. That's it. It's either challenges or opportunities, but you're the one that's in charge of that. You may say, you don't know what I've been through. Nobody would have chosen this. I understand that. Trust me. I had my own very challenging childhood. I'm the only person in my entire family who survived the hell that our family was. All of them are gone now, and it's because they couldn't handle life. I'm the only one that survived, so I know how challenging that is. But it all comes from your choice. People get upset with me when I tell them this, that you have the power to create whatever you want. So when I say you created all of your misery, I'm not attacking you. It's not a judgment. It's actually, I'm giving you the key because the opposite is true. If you created all of your challenges, it means that you have the power to create your greatest fantasies. But you have to choose a direction. And that's where the real game of Earth kicks in. So this experiment has achieved its goal. The Earth frequency is being erased. each human must now choose which new frequency they want to experience. Do they want the higher soul frequency, which we call 5D, or do they want the lower isolation frequency? So we can no longer just not decide. That has been the case for most of humanity. People can decide in one direction. They go really after their soul, or they go really after seeking safety. And a lot of times people stay in the middle. When I work with clients, for the most part, that's what they want to do. They want to stay in the middle and not really make a decision. They want the best of both worlds. Well, that never really worked, but people have had the ability to at least think that they can stay in the middle and not really make a choice. Well, since this earth frequency is being deleted, that choice of not making a choice no longer exists. So there's only two choices. You're either going towards your soul or you're going towards isolation. When you go towards your soul, you are going to have to face whatever challenges are left within you. But the good news is that you now have far more support. Customer service is here. That's what the UFO phenomenon is. That's what these light beings are. They are other souls in higher dimensions who are coming to help. And they're helping in ways that they couldn't do before because the experiment was going on and they couldn't disturb the experiment. But now that the experiment is over, they're knocking on the door to the laboratory. They say, okay, guys, the experiment's over. You want to come out? I'll help you out. They're creating ways out. They're giving you power. But only if you choose your soul. If you don't choose your soul, the next frequency for you is going to be an even lower frequency. It really will be a prison planet. So here's what will happen. You will either make a conscious choice for your soul, or you will make an unconscious choice for isolation. This is the most important thing I'm going to tell you in this video. You will, if you choose against going towards your soul, you won't do it consciously. You will think that you're doing something. In fact, I'm here to tell you, remember that I told you this, there is no shortage of people who believe that they are focused spiritually. These are, of course, people who are deep into religions. This is also people who are part of the spiritual community. And I'm not going to get into the specifics right now, but there's a whole category of spiritual seekers who they believe that they are choosing to follow a path of spirit, but the truth is they are unconsciously choosing the path of safety. And so you have to really make that decision. You have to consciously decide, I'm going to go the path of my soul, which means that you're going to take full responsibility for everything in your life, everything you feel, everything that's going on. And you know that as you go towards your soul, all of the old third dimensional wounds and old karmas, they have to come to the surface. You have to feel those things. And so you will have to be willing to look at everything, all of the darkness and all of the pain. If you run away from the pain, you are choosing isolation, because that's where the pain comes from. What happens is our soul lives in our heart, and it is surrounded by an electromagnetic field which protects the soul from the harshness of the third dimension. But that creates isolation. Now what happens is every time that we have a trauma and we don't face it and heal it, it creates scar tissue around the soul. It becomes an armor, and then we protect it. Like we use a shield to protect ourselves. We use our wounds to protect ourselves. So when something comes along, this higher dimensional energy comes inside, our soul expands, it bumps into that shield. It's going to feel painful, and you will have to look at that pain. If you choose not to look at that pain, then you are strengthening that shield and you are going towards isolation, all the while talking about love and light. And so, there's going to be a lot of spiritually, people virtue signaling their spirituality who are choosing isolation. Is that what I wanted to say? Yeah. So the thing that I wanted to tell you was that the choice to go towards your soul is a conscious one. It's a conscious, deliberate choice. It doesn't just happen. I would love to tell you that there's going to be a solar flash that's going to come and is going to passively make everybody happy. I wanted that to be the case. I'm here to tell you I do not believe that's going to happen. The solar flash has already come and gone. The earth is now shifting. The split is happening. And what's happening is now people are being forced to choose one or the other. If you choose to go forward, it will be a conscious, deliberate choice. If you choose to go to isolation, it will be unconscious. So you'll watch as people are making this choice and going down that path, they will be defending it all the way. And they will not be consciously aware that they are choosing damage for themselves. So how can you help yourself? Well, I have resources. So we do the live guided meditations on this channel twice a week. So twice a week, go to the live section on my channel. If you haven't already done so, hit subscribe and hit the notification button. You'll know whenever I go live. Every Wednesday night and Saturday night at 8:30 p.m., we do live guided interdimensional meditations. And these are incredibly powerful. If you want to check them out, they're archived. So go to the live section and you can listen and follow along there's hundreds of them. You'll get an idea. Trust me, if you do it with an open mind, you're going to have a powerful experience. We have the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. So that can be found at thunderwizard.com. If you go to thunderwizard.com, go to the menu, click on memberships. When you click on memberships, you'll see all of the different ways that you can subscribe to the various teaching courses on the Patreon channel. And if you haven't already done so, look for Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. This is very important because it will give your body the ability to tap into higher frequencies. We're going very deep into that stuff now. Follow along in the channel. If you keep doing the work, I guarantee you're going to feel energy that has never been experienced in the human body in history. And you're welcome to prove me wrong, but in order to do that, you actually have to do the practices. We also have the Mao Shan practices. So the Mao Shan practices are the single most powerful energy practices on the planet. They've been honed over the last couple thousand years by the Mao Shan sorcerers of southern China. And I have been working, as it turns out, with the beings who have transferred this, who channeled these exercises to human beings over the past couple thousand years. And we have worked to create more. And a lot of those are on the channel. You can also go to thunderwizard.com and go to the shop. And you'll see things like the 5-element Mao Shan spirit fighting practices. You'll see awakening the immortals. You'll see the Huar breath to open up the pineal gland. All of these things have come as a direct result of me working directly with higher dimensional beings. Those are the beings who have been giving these practices to humans. I'm now working directly with them, creating new practices to expand. So the energy that is available to us now is more powerful than anything we've ever had access to. And the good news is human beings are finally ready for it. I've been practicing and teaching this for 30 years. And I'm here to tell you that up until just recently, the average human, when they experienced the energy, would run the other direction because they weren't ready for it. It was too intense. But now people are they're ready for it. It's because the frequency of this earth is shifting and their mind is shifting. So if you're having feelings like you feel bored, you don't understand why life doesn't go anywhere. Nothing excites you anymore. You're unhappy. You can't stand the nonsense. You're waking up to how crazy this whole thing is, and you're like, I want out. That's because your frequency is moving up. So the good news is when you tap into that higher dimensional frequency, you will feel that life actually has meaning, it has purpose. There might be some challenges as your old stuff comes to the surface, but the energy that goes through your body and your mind is unbelievable. Don't believe me? Do it and find out. That's the only way to find out. You can go to maushan.thunderwizard.com for that. We also have contact.thunderwizard.com, and that is a 10 video course where I teach you how to communicate with higher dimensional beings, how to make contact with them, how to communicate with them, and how to go deep, really deep into a higher dimensional frequency, and to learn how to travel this universe in your astral body and go places you didn't even know existed. If you want to have the craziest drug trip of your life, you can do it completely drug-free, and it's called higher dimensional interdimensional meditation, and I teach you how to do that at contact.thunderwizard.com. If you want to have a channeling session with me, these are very beautiful and powerful and intense. And how this works is whoever decides they want this, they get a session with me. Now what will happen is my higher dimensional guides and your higher dimensional guides, we will all come together and they will speak to me. And they will tell me things about your soul in higher dimensions, who you were, the kind of deity you were. I just told you I was on a council that decided to create Earth. You are going to find out where you were, and believe me, it'll be just as grandiose and unbelievable. And they will tell you through me. And the other benefit of it is that when we do these channelings, even if you're on the other side of a Zoom call, what'll happen is that higher dimensional energy comes into your reality. So literally your home will start being filled with this power. The beings will have, the light beings will have more ability to interface with you and to connect with you and to manifest for you. And again, you won't know unless you give it a try. You can go, there's plenty of videos on my channel where I share with you what these channelings are like. So those are the resources: thunderwizard.com, contact.thunderwizard.com, channel.thunderwizard.com, and right now the focus is on maushan.thunderwizard.com. But I have a favor to ask of you. Please share this channel with all of your contacts. Go on to Facebook and Tweety Bird and whatever social media, Insta, Grok, I don't care. Go on and tell people about this channel. Give them links to videos. Let's get this message out. I want to thank you for spending the time listening to me blabber on and on. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you just being here on this planet, because your experience, your experiment on this planet has helped me as it has helped everybody else. And I want to do what I can to give back and help anybody I can. So I'm here for you if you need me. Thank you so much. Please be very good to yourselves, and I will see you all very, very soon.